This conference will now be recorded.
Yes, we're live.
Jagger was being aggressive.
I swear it downloaded the agenda and then it just went away.
I just did the same thing.
And it's coming back.
You're doing the same
I
thing?
had the worst time with this agenda. I think it's just so weird.
Just tell Misty it's just, she's away.
That's what I told Wade.
And Destiny's messing with you. Here's what they did. They're having trouble loading their stuff. I said, here's messing with them. And it's half loaded. You hit a button and it starts to get through.
Yeah, she probably
I
had
downloaded.
backed off on you.
It
Telling you to
corrected
take out
the issues that were brought up on this. And these are just two additional letters that came in. I guess I don't think we do for the.
Did you see TML?
Yeah. I think the ones you did. Those just stay like this zoning change. I don't remember what his name
Is Bert not calling? I signed up because I haven't been. What's the house name?
It's 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, let's call her. Misty, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's 2:00 in the morning over
It's
there.
fine.
She probably won't answer.
That goes fine, she'll be fine.
Misty.
Okay,
I'll be there next month.
I'm gonna chance with the agenda that I have pulled up, so. Council ready? Sorry for the delay. 6:01, we'll call the meeting to order. We would ask for the invocation. Jerry Freeman from Bethlehem Methodist Church, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, you have called us here for your purpose. You have appointed us for different places within this community, Lord God, but different places that are important to you. We ask, Father, tonight your blessing upon this meeting. We pray, Father, that you will come among us, that you will give wisdom where wisdom is lacking, that you will bring your peace, Lord God, where that's necessary, that you will bring your vision, Father, not our own, but your vision for this community, as well as, Father, for all of the surrounding communities as well. We thank you, Father, for the fact that you alone are the one who we can turn to. You alone are the one that has the answers, that has the hope, that brings the peace that you do. All this we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. And thank you for as often as you show up for this. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Rogers.
Here.
Holland. Ectorling.
Here.
Steiner.
Here.
McLean.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Masterson.
Here.
All right, item 5, the citizens' comments. We have Ms. Linda Vaughn with chamber announcements.
In case I forget, it's been a crazy day. Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come each month and share the announcements of the Greater Robinson Chamber of Commerce. We're on the move, trying to draw more attention to Robinson and the community. So the first thing we have coming up very soon, next Thursday, is our annual membership banquet on the 20th at the Texas Sports Hall of Fame. The theme is Dinner Texas Style, and I think you'll have an enjoyable time. It'll be a more relaxed atmosphere this year. And we would love for all of you to come. Friday is the last day to purchase tickets. If you have not purchased tickets yet for the banquet, Friday is the last day. And you can purchase them online or you can email us and we can invoice you through PayPal. The next thing that we have going on is August the 3rd at noon at Tajin. We'll be having our quarterly networking luncheon. And we, the chamber, would like to invite you, the city council, to be our guest. So if you would come to our luncheon that day at noon on August the 3rd at Tajin Cajun, we will buy your lunch for you. And we'd love to have you come and visit with us and see what our networking luncheons are all about. This one, we will have a representative from NeighborWorks Waco to come and speak with us. And Encompass Health will be our business spotlight. So we'll get some good information from both of those places. We're always looking for businesses that are willing to do a business after hours. So if you're interested in doing something like that to draw more attention to your business, bring people there that might not normally go there or whatever, we're happy to help you set that up. Our First Responder Appreciation Day, we don't have the kinks worked out yet or whatever, but we do have the day assigned, and it's going to be September the 16th at the fire station over here. And then we actually do have a business after hours on the calendar, so if nothing happens and that goes through, on October the 24th, we will have a business after hours at Waco Memorial Funeral Home, Cemetery, and Crematorium. So they have already put that on the books, and we're looking forward to having that business after hours with them, and all of you are invited to attend. It will be 5 to 7, as far as I know. Just watch for updates on the chamber website or chamber Facebook page, and you're all invited to come. So thank you for the opportunity. We look forward to great things for the city of Robinson.
Thank you,
Thanks
Ms.
for coming.
Vaughn. Okay, we have any other citizen comments at this time? All right, item 6 is consent agenda, which is 2 meetings for the minutes of a special meeting and a regular council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda item as written.
Second.
All right, motion is to approve consent agenda. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, item 7 is a public hearing. Continue a public hearing, consider possible action on ordinance 2023-007 regarding the application of Tommy Honey with Honey's Rentals LLC for a zoning change from a retail office and single-family residential to a commercial C1 district on 1.96 acres known as Block 1, Lot 1 and 2 of the Doy Baker Edition in the CO Campo survey, and on 0.35 acres known as Tract 27 in the CO Campo survey, addressed as 519 and 517 North Robinson Drive respectively. We're going to continue the public hearing at 6:07. And this will actually be a continuation on this continuation, as the applicant is not in town and would like to be here for the active meeting. So we're going to continue this agenda as well. So if we have someone that would like to speak on this item, you're more than welcome to speak. If you speak tonight, you will not speak at the next meeting. If you spoke at the previous meeting, you've already been recorded. You're on record. So if there's anyone here to speak, you may want to speak at the next meeting.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I spoke at last month's meeting regarding this,
Okay.
but you said I can speak at the next council meeting.
Okay.
Because y'all didn't vote on it because.
Yeah. Yeah. So there, yes and no. So when you speak during the meetings, they're continuations. So when you do speak, it does count as your time for speaking. If something's different, just give me a call, John. Let me fill me in.
I see a council member missing, so are you gonna be able to vote on it tonight on this?
We're not voting tonight. We're continuing the meeting. Yeah.
Next month?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That'll be August 1st.
And that would be the August 1st meeting. Tell me up here. Okay. If there's no one to speak on this item, we'll continue to the August 1st meeting. All right. Item 8, continue a public hearing, conduct a public hearing, consider impossible action on ordinance 2023-011 regarding the application of Donnie Washington for approval of a specific use permit for a residential short-term rental on 0.32 acres known as Block 3, Lot 5 of the Fain Estates Part 2, addressed at 1003 North Peggy Drive in Robinson, Texas. Public hearing open at 6:09 with presentation from Jordan.
Thank you, Mayor. The applicant is requesting a specific use permit for a short-term rental at 1003 Peggy
a short-term rental is permitted in this specific zoning district. This is a SF1 zoning district. Short-term rentals are also consistent with the comprehensive plan, but you need a specific use permit for the short-term rental. The applicant submitted a site plan. And Destiny, you can go to it, mine. You can go to the site plan. The site plan is also in your packets. The applicant submitted a site plan. They meet the necessary living space, parking requirements, that type of thing. They meet those requirements. They'll also be required to meet the supplemental standards, which are paying hotel occupancy taxes, as well as fire suppression with the fire smoke alarms as well. At the P&Z meeting, there was no recommendation. The vote was split 3-3, and we did receive one letter of opposition. You have that letter of opposition as a printout in front of you. The applicant is also here to answer any questions as well. And I'll be happy to answer any questions after the public hearing.
We have anyone here like to speak on this item? Our public hearing?
I got a question. I spoke last time.
Which-
Do I need to speak again? Or-
This is the first time we're hearing this, sir, so that would have been a planning and zoning meeting. Name and address for the mic,
Okay.
for the record.
My name is Donnie Washington. Address is 1003 North Peggy in Robinson, Texas. I was planning on doing a short-term rental. First, we was planning on moving in, but grandfather got sick, so we moved, and we just wanted to put the house on a short-term rental until we were able to come back to it for now. And we did all the necessary things as far as smoke detectors and carbon monoxide. And we was hoping to get like some nurses to come in, rent it while we're away from my grandfather, so they could either work at Hillcrest or the new facility right off of the access road over there. So, any questions for me, I guess? Like,
We possibly may. I
okay,
don't think we're going to have any other speakers during the public hearing, but we may have a question back for you.
okay,
Can we ask it now? We have to wait till you close
No,
it?
wait for we close the public hearing.
okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone from the public like to speak on this? I will close the public hearing at 6:12. Mr. Ling, you have a question?
Mr. Washington, where will you be going, like, to take care of your grandfather?
He's in town, still wake up.
Okay, cool. All right, just wanted to see if you were going to be around the area, like if something happened at the house or something needed assistance, like how far would you be that you could like
Yes, ma'am.
get
Just a
over there?
long way, though.
Okay. Okay. I mean, the opposition didn't
We have one letter
say
of
anything,
opposition.
yeah.
Mr. Rogers?
I don't have any questions. I know historically we've kind of said not in residential neighborhoods. This one does not come with any opposition, so,
One.
well, one, sorry. None was in the packet, but one today. Just kind of surprised at that.
Mhm.
Oh, that's all I have. I don't have any questions.
Oh, I know when we've done these in the past, we put a cap on it. But I mean, are we thinking we need to do this for a few years or like how long term or?
During the last meeting, I was told that y'all do a 2-year cap,
Mm-hmm.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Baker?
Is this gonna be for like an Airbnb or just a short term, like you mentioned, PRN nurses coming in, filling in at Hillcrest or?
Let me interrupt that. It's the same thing. Short-term rental is going to be anything less than 12 months. Excuse me, 6 months, right? So
It's 30
30
consecutive days.
it's 30 consecutive days. Yes. Yeah, that's short-term rental. Anything over 30 days is just considered a rental.
You know, ordinarily, these are the hardest requests that I, as a council person, deal with because you're trying to weigh the outlook of the person who owns the property against the neighborhood that they are presenting it for. The only issue I've ever had is the fact that the people that are renting don't have the responsibility to the neighborhood to maintain the residents while they're there and to be responsible for any damages they may occur to their property or to the surrounding vehicles and properties and locale. This is really a tough call on all different aspects, but that's usually the only issue I ever have with it. Now, you don't have an established timeline in this, do you?
Not a permanent timeline, but I'm thinking really no more than a year.
Okay.
So that's why I said 2 year at max.
Mhm.
And then I would come back for pre-approval if needed.
Right. Are you soliciting residents or you have people in mind? How are you going to advertise this as an opening?
Mainly you could list it as like an Airbnb, but also they have a specific site for nurses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I was planning on marketing it.
Okay.
That way. And we're gonna do strict screenings and stuff like that to help prevent, to keep neighbors and, you know, their families safe too.
Right. Have you interacted with the people around you there to see what their personal opinions are other than the one rejection letter we've got here?
Yes, I know pretty much all my neighbors that surround me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do you know the one who voted in opposition?
no ma'am, she stays on the next street over on the corner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's all I've got.
Yeah.
My only thing is usually when we have these and we talk VRBOs within the city limits, we usually get kind of a big attendance of opposition. So my whole thing is concern of setting a precedence for other VRBOs that come in that are within the city limits, that may revert back and say, well, you granted this. Now I know with a special use permit, we can put limitations and restrictions. But I don't know if I want to get into the business of, you know, picking which ones do and which ones don't. I'd rather set a precedence to say the stance within the city is usually this. So.
Well, I would just say that's kind of the whole purpose of the specific use permit is it does give you that latitude to look at each on a case-by-case basis and whether or not you feel it's appropriate. So by granting one specific use permit, you're not opening the door and saying now we have to approve all of them because each circumstance is different and you weigh those circumstances when you make those decisions. And that's why you can create, that's why you're allowed to create specific requirements like time limits and things like that. So you can do that. So I would say that granting them or not granting them doesn't necessarily set a standard for all going forward. They still are looked at on a case-by-case basis. So.
I agree. What would be the set of circumstances that would be different between properties in the same neighborhood?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. When I mean talking setting a precedence, Mr. Washington's property versus somebody else on a different street, same aspects, but we get an opposition. Well, just because we got more attendees in opposition versus one opposition.
I would think more opposition would.
Yeah, I think more.
That is the precedence.
Yeah.
Or if you have a neighborhood that's predominantly owner occupied versus rental homes or something like that.
I mean,
because we do have some neighborhoods where most of the homes are rentals. And so
this
they're not
opposition doesn't
owner-occupied
really
homes,
even.
so but again, it kind of falls to
Yeah.
your situation and things like that. But I just wanted to address the question about precedent. You're not with a specific use permit. You're not really I'll look at the planner so they can agree or disagree, but that's the whole purpose of a specific use permit is to, otherwise we just have an ordinance that says they're either allowed or they're not allowed. So,
I mean, I feel like I'm good with this. I may want to like talk to this neighbor, send her some cookies so she's not like out for you or anything, but you know. Anybody else?
any other comments?
Again, I've said this before, I've used Airbnb and do that frequently when we travel. So I'm not opposed to it, but, anytime there has been opposition, I have voted against these historically. I think that that is my personal preference and the precedents that I would use, so.
Somebody like to make a motion?
Yep, I'll make a motion to approve the specific use permit for short-term rental on Block 3, Lot 5, addressed at 1003 North Peggy Drive.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion to approve ordinance 2023-011. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Aye. Just dive in an extra one.
On that special use, there's no time restriction.
All right, question, Mr. Rogers, vote on that.
There's no 2-year cap on your,
I voted in favor of that.
Oh, you did? I didn't hear you, Jim. Okay.
I thought
Yeah,
we
we
were
have
doing
4-2.
I thought we were doing that like as a mandatory 2-year cap. I thought
it has to be in the motion.
Okay.
one remaining, Tom.
Okay, item 9, conduct a public hearing considering possible action on ordinance 2023-012 and ordinance 2023-013 regarding the application of Alexander Fitch for a land use amendment from low-density residential to agricultural and a zoning change from a rural estate district to an agricultural district on 10.45 acres in the M. Martinez survey addressed at 607 East Moonlight Drive. Public hearing open at 6:22. Again, Jordan.
Thank you, Mayor. The applicant is seeking to rezone his property at 607 Moonlight from rural estate to agriculture for the intent of say, personal agricultural use there on this property. As you can see, this is where the property is located, right off Moonlight. Let me go to the next slide here. As you can see right here, this is the future land use map. Its future land use is low density residential. Next to it there on the right hand side is an agricultural land use. So it's currently low density land use. Go to the next slide. This is the property again. It is zoned RE. Several of the properties around it are zoned RE. Here on the RE side,
All the green is RE?
all the green is RE.
And that's a future land use map?
This is the zoning.
Oh, current zoning?
This is current zoning, yes, sir. There's more agricultural use over here on this side. This property, rezoning to ag is not consistent with the future land use plan. However, rezoning to ag is consistent with the rest of the surrounding land use as its rural context. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval 6-0 at the June 22nd meeting. And we have received one letter of support for this rezoning.
So the future land use right next to this lot is agriculture?
So the future land use right here, this is the future land use map. These two parcels and these over here are all agricultural land use.
So that's our future land use map there?
Future land use map.
And so we're showing the future land use map as being ag right there to the east?
Yes.
and then go down to the current zoning?
And then low dens on the side?
No, the other way. And so our current zoning has it as residential?
Current zoning has it as rural estate, yes.
So our future land use map has it moving to a less restrictive, less dense.
That was a miss.
This property was recently, we just recently put that as RE, like when we did our land use maps. Is that not correct? Were these all RE prior to?
Are you talking about the 2018, the citywide?
No, RE didn't exist.
RE didn't
Didn't
exist
exist.
prior to 2018.
So, and they're currently RE, correct?
Yeah,
So
and I
we
think
just
that's
did
because
that.
there was already a home on them because they were.
And so that was kind of our blanket. We put that on top of this
Yeah,
property.
we
It
had
was
to
probably
assign.
rural, agriculture before.
Before, no,
The
there was no
base
ag
zone was
before.
R1.
It was just R1.
There was no ag in the city. It was
Yeah,
all
the
R1.
whole city was R1 unless it was something else back then. So,
And so we decided RE was the best fit for that.
well, it was based on what's currently there because most of those properties, the ones under 5 acres, didn't qualify for ag, but they have a home on them. So I think the idea was since most of those properties have a home, they just were all zoned rural estate, given the current land use.
And this lot is one of the flag lots that's, we don't permit now, correct?
And you can still do flag
You
lots.
still do flag?
Yes.
Still do what?
This is showing.
The, and just to clarify, there was one letter of support and the applicant is here to answer any questions as well.
It's rural estate. And it's currently RE, so it's good.
So the future land use
Mhm.
is going back to ag.
It was agriculture, this is low density residential.
Future land use has it as RE. That's it right there.
Correct. Yeah, so this is the future land use. Again, all this is low density residential. Over here, the bright yellow is agriculture. So this is the land use. And then
It's RE.
to the zoning, which is the next slide. It's currently zoned RE along with the surrounding properties. The larger parcels around it are very rural in nature, just like this property. Over here, you do have some truly ag zone properties. That's in dark green.
Okay, we are in a public hearing. Do we have anybody in the public that would like to speak on this? Step up, sir. Name and address, please.
Alexander Finch, 6007 East Moonlight Drive. That's the property described. I'm the homeowner.
I was like, name sounds familiar.
So thank you all for your time today. So my wife and I moved in there about a year ago, and we planted about 50 strawberry plants. My wife's planted more than a dozen fruit trees. We got blueberry bushes. In addition, there are already extensive grapevines. They kind of replace some existing blackberry, dewberries. So I don't know if that was a good trade. I kind of like the dewberries, but they overtook them. We're hoping over time to get a dairy cow, some rabbits for meat, chickens for egg production, kind of letting our existing quail die off to replace them with chickens. Quail eggs are just so small, they're just not worth it. So we were interested in the rezoning because we saw that under regulations, I think there are certain uses for agriculture that that don't exist for rural estate, even with a special use permit. Things like, I think, dairy, meat processing, and produce stands were the three that we were looking at. Where if we did get dairy cows, we'd probably have significantly more than our family could consume. So we just want the ability to maybe sell that, or possibly the same thing if we produce more meat than we can consume. So I've got a full-time job at Texas Farm Bureau. I can't say that I'm like going to be a farmer out on the field every day, but we're trying to just make sure that we can do that kind of homesteading and maybe have the ability to engage in those activities without kind of like stepping outside of the allowance of our current zoning.
I like it.
Anyone else to speak on this item? All right, we'll close the public hearing at 6:29. Mr. Master?
No, I understand the applicant's reasoning behind his application. I think it's a pretty good idea. Thank you.
Mr. Baker? I'm good.
Same, I'm excited for him.
Quick question. In the add-on summary, it does say uses such as dairy, animal processing, and produce stand are not allowed in the rural estate district, but it is allowed in ag district with an approval for an SUPs, with a SUP. So I guess at this time, it would just be approving the ag zoning, and then if in the future he desires for the other, then he'd come back for a special use permit. Am I reading that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And I understand.
Mr. Ashland, do you have any questions?
Mr. Rogers?
I don't have any questions. I actually support it. And would like to make a motion.
Ooh, go. I will second.
Motion to approve ordinance 2023-012 and ordinance 2023-013 regarding the application of Alexander Fitch for a land use amendment from low-density residential to agricultural and a zoning change from rural estate district to agricultural district on 10.45 acres in the M. Martinez survey addressed at 607 East Moon Line.
I second that motion. Second that motion.
All right, we have a motion to approve ordinance 2023-012 and 013. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
You don't have to recuse yourself on this next one.
Yeah. You what?
You have three of us.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have 3 that have to recuse on this next one.
I don't know if I want to turn this into you. I can give it to you, I reckon.
Yeah.
Just in support, but let them know that.
Okay.
Because I need you to talk to them.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Rogers, we'll turn it over to you for this next item. Take a minute.
Thanks, man.
Is it?
See if I remember how to do this. Item number 10 is a public hearing. Conduct a public hearing, consider and possible action on ordinance 2023-014 and ordinance 2023-015 regarding the application of Felicia Riddell for the land use amendment from commercial to low density residential and a zoning change from retail office district to single family SF1 district on 0.551 acres in the M. Martinez survey addressed at 701 West Moonlight Drive.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Go ahead and skip forward here to the map, as it'll be a little easier to speak from. There you go. Thank you. So this is the subject property right off Moonlight Drive, 701 West Moonlight Drive. The applicant is looking to rezone it from a retail office designation back to SF1. In the 2018 zoning process, this property, like several properties along Moonlight Drive, were rezoned to retail office. But they're still homes. They're still used as homes. When this happens, it's called a legal non-conforming use. The city's zoning ordinance states, or actually has a few mechanisms that can trip that, so they can stay a legal non-conforming use. You can still use the property as a home, but if it's a change in ownership, if it goes vacant, there's a few other items that would trip the mechanism to automatically keep it as a RO and no longer have that single family or residential use. And that's essentially what we have here. I'm going to go to the next slide. So this is the future land use map. As you can see, it's all commercial designated. That's the property there.
Well, actually, most of that was redone with the plan development.
Okay.
Land use was updated too with the plan development.
Okay. So the land use was updated for plan development. This, what you see here on the zoning map, you see that there's a plan development around it as well. The applicant is here to speak on this or answer questions. There's a hardship within the family that caused the property owner to have to leave the residence for a significant amount of time. The water was shut off, and then therefore it kind of tripped that mechanism to where now it only can be used as a retail office and not as residential. So you have pictures of the properties in your packet. The P&Z approved this zoning change 660 at the last meeting. And the applicant, I don't think I'm forgetting anything here, but the applicant is here to speak upon their situation and answer any questions that you may have.
And I would add that we have one letter in favor of the rezoning, and that is from the managing partner of the plan development that surrounds this on 3 sides. So they are in favor of the rezoning.
And one more thing I would like to add, that rezoning to SF1 would be consistent with the plan development that's happening around it and other residential uses around the property as well.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to speak for or against this item? Would you like to come on up to the microphone?
Did you officially open the public hearing?
Before we do that, I'd like to officially open the public hearing at 6:36. If you could state your name and address, please.
Bruce Rydell, father-in-law of the purchaser, Felicia Rydell, and her husband, my son, Kyle Rydell. Zoning commission approved the SF1 because it was a non-compliant code, and all the property around it, as he's mentioned before, is now specified as SF1. And as you can see, there's lots of investors that had to recuse their stuff from this vote. But since we have gone to the planning and zoning commission and got it approved, we're asking that the city council approve what zoning commission approved.
Did you state your address? I don't know if I heard.
I live in 424 Hewitt Lane, Lindenwood Lane, Hewitt.
Thank you. Does anyone else like to speak on this item? Being none, close the public hearing at 6:37. Council, do you have those that are left? Is there any questions?
Any other investor?
No, I don't have anything.
You're good, Mr. Master?
Yeah, seeing that this is already surrounded on all 3 sides by a planned residential community, I don't see there's any reason that we should change the way that this is looking forward. So I'm good with this as it's applied.
Did that sound like a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion that we approve this. Oh, let me see. Okay, approve ordinance 2023-014. Is that the right one? And ordinance 2023-015 regarding the application of Felicia Rydell for a land use amendment from commercial to low-density residential and a zoning change from retail office district to single-family district on 0.551 acres in the M. Martinez survey addressed at 701 West Moonlight Drive.
And I will second that.
All right, we have a first and a second.
Thank you. I don't have my reading glasses. I can't see anything.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passes. And you want to get them?
I'll go get them.
Yeah.
These cataracts are great for they open up fingers. What? I know.
Yeah, but residential area plan,
There's probably 16,000 lines going there.
probably. No, I never did. It was just.
This is for the taking.
Welcome back.
Okay, item 11, conduct a public hearing, consider possible action on ordinance 2023-016 and ordinance 2023-017 regarding the application of Jerry and Peggy Wilkie for a land use amendment from agricultural to low-density residential and zoning change from an agricultural district to a RE district on 2.004 acres in the Agalindo survey, approximately addressed at 388 Downsell Road. Public hearing open at 6:40.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
The applicant purchased approximately 2 acres, I believe, from a family member in an ag district. He would like to rezone it to RE to build a home on it. As you can see in the packet on the screen, this has already been surveyed out, but this is the property or the area that he would like to build a home, or the property or the area that's subject property. Slide. As you can see, it's currently in a future land use map. It's agricultural. If you go to the next slide, it's also zoned agricultural. So it's looking to rezone from ag to RE in order to build a home. They purchased 2 acres. You have to have at least 1 acre or more for RE. So he's zoning definition in order to build a home. P&Z, the last meeting, recommended 6-0 approval of the rezoning, and there are no letters of opposition. The applicant is also here to answer any questions as well.
Jordan, could you repeat that as to why they needed to go RE to build a home?
Yeah.
They have to have, they only have 2 acres. Can't build on 2 acres with this ag zone. It's got to be at least 5 acres to be ag zone.
Okay. All right. Ready for presentation? For now? We have anyone like to speak on this item? Maybe not address, sir. Anyone else speak on this item? Any further discussion? All right, motion is to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. When you starting to build? Being by Christmas?
Before you jump off on the next one, I'm going to run this here. I just assumed I've already introduced you, but I haven't. The gentleman here next to Mr. Everhart who's been answering questions is our new planner, David Harrell. He started with us 2 weeks ago. He's already been to a couple of P&Z meetings. I forgot this was his first council. So I wanted to introduce him. He graciously allowed Jordan to finish out the cases he was working, and he will be picking up everything from here going forward. But we were very happy to have him on board. I probably know more than that.
Welcome aboard, David. Do we have names worked out for all these Davids yet?
We have 4 Davids, and no, we don't have names worked out. And 3 of them are all in the same department. 3 Davids and a Michelle.
All right, item 12, consider possible action regarding the application of Stephen J. Freeman II with Freeman Surveying and Mapping LLC on behalf of Brett Myrick with Robinson Old Road Development LLC for a preliminary plat approval of the village at Creekside being part of 50.538 acres in the CO Campo Survey, abstract 32, with the approximate addresses of 736 North Old Robinson Road and in the 700 block of Gregg Drive.
Thank
Which
you.
one?
The plat and plans in your packet depict a proposed 144 residential lots. This site is presently zoned SF2, and it will have your typical residential neighborhood features. The preliminary plat and plans were submitted June 8th. We have received comments back from our review engineer. We've had construction plans or plan comments back. We're waiting on getting the preliminary plat comments back. P&Z's approval or recommended approval of this plat was 6-0 on the condition that the comments be satisfactorily addressed.
And those comments have been provided to you at your dais.
Yeah.
One set covers the plats, the other covers subdivision construction plans that are associated with them. Yes.
I'm the one today.
There's same as last time, so. Okay, so there's a representative here today that can answer questions.
I feel like I've already seen a plat for this.
I don't think so.
And they have submitted the full construction plans on
Oh,
this.
yes, that's exactly what I was looking at.
That is correct. Thank you, Mr. Lynn. The plans that were submitted are full construction plans. They do exceed what is required for preliminary, but they have been reviewed and we are confirming those comments have been addressed. So they are full construction plans.
I see a note of detention on it. Am I assuming that that's in the green space? Is that the detention area?
I think one of them is the larger lot down there off of Gregg.
Yeah, that's ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plat. There's actually a design plan down a little further that shows it.
Yeah, there's a full construction plan set with it. The construction plans that were submitted exceed what's required for preliminary plat. These are actually the construction plans for the final plat.
You're doing so good.
Right there.
That one.
Mr. Rogers, any questions?
No, I have none. Other than do we typically have this many responses for changes on preliminary plats? Or
Yes.
yes, quite
Yeah.
detailed.
The comments are pretty straightforward. So the plan set was pretty good. The comments are pretty straightforward, and so those have been addressed, and our engineer is confirming that.
There's some mission construction, but there's one set of comments because it's such a detailed work on the document.
but in my experience, a lot of the comments are minor.
I don't know if we've ever been provided with one of this detailed before. That's why I asked.
Yeah, I mean, typically the comments are all, if they're all worked out, they'll usually be in the packet, but they fall in with the other 100 and something pages of documents in that agenda item.
Other than that, I really don't have any questions for this project.
Mr. Steiner?
No.
Mrs. McLean?
Nothing.
Mr. Baker?
I'm good.
Mr. Master, yours?
Good with me.
So do we need it approved with the conditions still attached?
Yeah, so the approval will be with the conditions that the comments that are contained with that in the preliminary construction plans are adequately addressed. You said comments to the preliminary plat and to the what? All right, I'll make a motion to approve the application. Okay. Yeah, Village Creekside. I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary plat of the Village Creekside with comments addressed to the preliminary plat and construction drawings as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All right, motion to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
I'm not gonna answer any questions. You did good.
You being by Christmas too, though? All right, item 13, conduct a public hearing, consider possible action on ordinance 2023-018, amending ordinance 2018-09, increasing the rates for solid waste services. Craig?
So each year about this time, Waste Management does come to us with a request for rate increases based on our contract that's in place. That contract did automatically renew for the next 2 years, so it is still in effect. They did in early June submit an application, but unfortunately it was too late to get on the last agenda requesting an increase, and they in their request asked that we consider increasing the amount by the April CPI of 6.92 and a 3% increase for the fuel surcharge based on a diesel rate of $3.55 per gallon. That's based on the Gulf State diesel index that's done by the Department of Energy. So they submitted that. We've had a little bit of a back and forth about the fuel surcharge. Waste Management's position is that each year that the fuel charge remains above the base index rate for the surcharge of $3 a gallon, they're entitled to the increase, whereas the city's position has been that you're entitled to the increase, but as the contract states, it will increase or decrease as follows. And so it's not cumulative. If it goes up to cover $3.75 one year, if it stays at $3.75, you don't get a. That's your phone. I think it's your phone.
Your phone, Bert, not your
Wow.
computer.
No, it's Apple wants to raise the rates too.
Yeah. So
I always listen.
I lost where I was at.
Sorry about that.
So that, so the increase would be cumulative. So if the price stayed at $4 for 3 consecutive years, they would be entitled to a 5% increase each year. Whereas the city's position is, no, you are entitled to 5% increase, and then when it comes back down, it goes back down based on those same numbers. So I guess we agreed to disagree. So I said that I would bring their proposal, and I also did a proposal. I did mine off of the
May CPI, which is what we typically do when we do these. I think the last 4 years they've all been done on the May CPI. The May CPI is actually their advantage. It was 7.9% for trash, so that is the increase that I propose in the second version of ordinance. And I will let Mr. Paul Danduro with Waste Management get up and speak. He wants to offer his side of the issue here.
Good afternoon, good evening, the mayor. This year, this month, and that's 5 years of this function. Going fairly well. This year, we have 2 years. It is confusing. Goes up or down, our opinion of it is below or above zero. That's neither here nor there. I'm absolutely fine with when we put this together, 5.5 years ago, fuel was at $2.30. So $3 way up, but now we're over $3 per liter. So my proposal going forward, we don't want to decide on with 85% CPI and then 15% fuel. What we'll do is I think that's good. Increase fuel rate, increase fuel rate, and then increase fuel rate, and how that goes up or down, and make it 15% down. Not the more stuff, which is that proposal, and we can talk about that later on. But I'm super happy
I'll have a question maybe first.
Right, so usually we go by the May to May CPI, and that was 17, we were trying to get this, I was trying to get this original, CPI, because of the confusion on the fuel, and we had particular possible, but our usual time at 50 years. So that's where the 6.92 May is. That's what we, this time and last year, which was another year, our fuel surcharge was 10% on top of fuel 5.5%. And I came in and said, look, we're not going to pass it on. We remain on overall, and that's why I came back a little earlier this time. So we're talking about this.
And that is what we have used, I think, every year since the operation went into effect, is the May CPI. A few years it's been our advantage, because I think the first couple of years he sent it early on, and we had the April, and then by the time we got to the end of the May, it was lower. So we're going to use the May. So in the sense of fairness here, I'm trying to be fair of both directions. But like I said,
But our position is we believe that the rates increases is likely to
covers the floor. and is adequate to cover, continue to cover it. And so therefore, it's allowed you to seek that.
So I see in here, and it's rate is different from both the current and fixed department, I started what is that?
That, what's in that letter is based on the 9.9. So you have two ordinances in there. Well, actually, in my memo, those scenarios are there, what it would be. And theirs does not include the franchise fee of the billing fee. So what's in my memo actually includes the franchise and billing fees. So the top one is based on their requested rate, and the bottom one is based on my requested rate.
You said, or go with our rate.
And also, and we can bring that, he sent that wording over, but I didn't get it until Thursday. There was no time. This was such a big deal, I couldn't get it done. So we'll do this whole process. We're in the 2-year renewal. So, but we can amend the current contract, so we can put it on a future agenda to discuss. If you're comfortable, we could just do a short amendment saying we'll change this, the way we think. Before December. Yes, yes. That's why I didn't want to rush it to you, because I didn't have time to show. Really, I didn't even have time. I haven't read it yet, because this was a really big agenda to get put together, and it's the middle of budget time. So I just. It's confusing. Because it's a class, right? At $3, so you're all of the tools can be laid out. No, that'll be something that we'll probably get through budget and bring it down. So, yeah.
I do have one question. And I'm not passionate about that example. It says, about the price staying at $4 for 3 years. Then the rate would increase 5% each year for the rate of 15.76%. When the price falls back below 3, the rate would only be 2.6%. Is that what it's taking? So if the rate stays at the price at about $4 for 3 years, the rate would increase 5%.
Right, that's the way that we, that is, but above that, that's actually price. So if we go below that price, that's when it's at 15%. If above that price, that's still, still not good.
When it falls back below 3, you only get back 1%. Under. So $2.99 and you want.
No, you don't.
Oh, so 280, I get 1%.
Actually, it's 25. So we'd have to drop to 270. 25.
Not to be confused.
So in that scenario, the actual cost, raw fuel cost decreases more than 25%. You only get 4%.
And we had quite long discussions about that.
Yeah, no, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Okay, I think we've got open public hearing for this. Okay, so let's open the public hearing at 7:04. Do we have anyone that'd like to speak on this? Going gone, 7:04. And I would just add back to the whole reason we tried this kind of language, this was actually taken out from the contract. A lot of times in the past, there's been the surcharge is month to month, when fuel goes over a certain amount. And so that requires billing, has to every month bill in and make changes to the billing, and the customer's bill go up and down. So we were trying to take that out and create an once a year adjustment. But it ended up being way more confusing than I anticipated. We're gonna try. We'll agree on what the interpretation is before we approve it. How's that? We just need to approve, we just need to say which version of the ordinance we want to approve. So waste management recommended and city manager.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-002, amending ordinance 2023-009, to go with the disinfecting recommendation.
I would be on.
So I'm just thinking, then I'll start with
All right. Motion is to approve ordinance 2023-18, amending 2018-09 at the 7.9% rate. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Happy anniversary. He's been his anniversary.
No.
Enjoy it.
I made him
Oh,
come on his
didn't
anniversary.
even bring her in? Yeah, I have to five on the car too. Yeah, you can crack the window. You can hear, she's fine.
We don't cut anybody in this life.
Oh,
Hi,
poor
happy
thing.
anniversary.
You can have him now.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. Hey, Tajan's pretty good. Hey, it is good. I'm not lying. Have a
Good
good
night.
one.
Item 14, conduct a public hearing, consider possible action on ordinance 2023-019, providing for amendments to the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget to reflect appropriation transfers as outlined in Exhibit A of the ordinance. Public hearing open 7:07 with Craig.
So this is, we do this each year about this time. This is adjustments. This incorporates not only changes the departments are requested based on unexpected occurrences during the year, but also gets all those things that you've been approving individually during different agendas as we've brought you individual items, and we incorporate those into this mid-year adjustment. So that's what you have before you tonight. Just a real brief overview. The general fund projected revenue increase is increasing by $1,003,215. 80% of that increase is due to the funds that are allocated for the purchase of the new fire engine for the volunteer fire department. I think it's 820,000 is going toward 820,106 of that. The additional increase is just higher than projected sales tax revenues and much higher than projected interest rates. When I did the budget last year, interest rates were down, and I projected like I think I projected $35,000, and we're going to do like 135, 140,000. So that's the additional revenue that's increased there. Expenditures are projected to increase by 907,366. Again, 820,106 of that is purchase of the fire engine. Another 51,245 is for the Peplo Park parking lot. If you remember, we budgeted 200,000 for that. By the time the engineers did the preliminary stuff and seeing where concrete has gone since last summer, it's pushed that up to the 251, 245, which includes the engineering and surveying and bidding and everything on that. And there's other changes here and there, some savings from personnel, and just a lot of line item transfers that are outlined in the attachment, the Exhibit A with the ordinance that shows you individually what's going up, what's going down. Most of it is a wash. Some things are going up here and just moved to another line item, to another line item. The original budget is approved, projected to reduce fund balance by $324,486. This amended budget reduces fund balance by $228,641, which is a positive difference of $95,845. In the utility fund, projected revenues increased by $239,917. Most of that is coming from interest, higher interest rates. Total expenses are projected to be $9,631,769, which is $222,654 more than the original budget amount. The biggest thing driving those increases are motor failures at the utility well and the pump work and the intake station. And you all approved the special meeting a couple of weeks ago. So the amended budget reflects a reduction of $337,588, whereas the original budget was going to be projected a reduction of $346,861. There was one big line item transfer. We had allocated $650,000 from utility fund balance for the AMI project that carried over this year. We had put that in the administration budget, but finance is actually coding all that to utility maintenance. Department change and all of that. So the difference is a net benefit of $9,263 in the utility fund and the ending unallocated reserve of $6,354,000. And then general fund capital projects is increased by $1,362,574 increase. Changes to the project on the industrial foundation. When we originally did the budget, we projected the total cost of about $4 million. The social concrete and everything went up by the time we did it. In addition, the Lake Industrial Foundation added almost $570,000 in additional panel work that they wanted to pay for, and they did agree to pick up that part of the cost as well as this. And I would be happy to answer any specific questions at this public hearing. Speaking of, we have everybody in the public that can speak on the budget appropriation transfer. That is the 7th. No, that's, I think we're probably, any concerns where we are on arbitrage? I mean, a lot of the, no, that's debt interest. This is actually interest on fund balance. Yeah, that is only interest on debt. If we have any debt issues, we're holding and collecting. This is actually the unrestricted fund balance. Both the general fund and the utility fund. I got a little derailed there. Yeah, there's no risk of earning too much.
I just the mayor and city council into the line items and all the time.
Which one? Mayor and city council? I was going to say the salary line item for mayor and city council is hidden because everything was at 0%. You can't see the lines with zeros on them, so you can't see the council side.
Oh, yeah.
$820,000. Yeah, it should be capital outlay and administration. It's 12,800. You use the okay, yeah, that's recognizing the revenue. And so there's zero. Yeah. That you all approved, remember when it was? Jacob, you're back there. You all approved that. There was an approved development agreement. They actually wanted to redo the panels, actually lowered our costs a little bit. Increase there. And so far, all those have all been changed, and then we have sent it to you. But we haven't, the lift is not collected all of it yet because we need to thresholds of county federal. Yeah, this is actually, the table is generated directly out of, exported out of ClearGov, and then I just put text boxes in it. It makes more sense. Questions or possible action?
All right, I make a motion to approve ordinance 2023-019, providing for amendments to the fiscal 2022-23 budget reflecting the appropriation transfer of the outline exhibit
Motion is to approve ordinance 2023-019. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 15, consider impossible action regarding the approval of resolution 2023-10-R, providing for a waiver of penalties and interest on delinquent taxes in accordance with Texas Tax Code Section 33.011. I guess Grace got this, and we have seen a couple of these.
Yes, so this is another request that has to do with the late payment penalty and interest related to the ice storm at the end of January and the mail not being picked up on January 31st and therefore being delivered late to the tax office. So the applicant here has submitted a copy of the envelope showing that it was postmarked on the 2nd of February, which is when the mail started running again, and showing that they're.
I just have one comment or question. Is this Texas tax code we're seeing? Can we make a recommendation to changing that so in the future they don't have to
It
do
is Texas
individuals?
tax code, yes. Yes.
So we could just adopt a general change?
No, this is, so the tax assessor took the position that under the tax code, they can only waive the penalty and interest if it's something that they did that caused the delay. And since they didn't cause the ice storm, or the post office failing to pick it up, their opinion of their legal was they did not have the authority to waive the penalty and interest, each individual taxing entity. So it would take the state, amending the state law to, there's nothing we can do by ordinance. And they have to go to each taxing entity. So these individuals that live in the city, they're having to go to the county, the school district, the city, and the community college.
Are all
Or is it just taxing entities doing it that way, or is this just
All which now?
all taxing entities handling that the same way, or there?
Yeah, I mean, they have to go to each now. Not everybody has approved all of them because there have been some people come in and I think they've heard about it and they come in and say, you know, I got delayed, but then they find out that the payment wasn't actually delivered to the assessor until like 27th of February or something. So most interviews, if we're not seeing the check being cleared around the second or third, we're not clearing it.
I can only imagine how long ago.
Oh, yeah, this is,
I mean,
yeah, the county has lots of these. I mean, I think this is our fourth or fifth one. The county's had full stacks of them. We got one from Encore that's like 30 pages, but everybody's basically said, man, we're not buying yours. So it hadn't come forward yet. There's still some back and forth on that one, but
is that a motion in here, Mr. Rogers? Yes, sir. Motion to approve resolution 2023-01 that authorized the labor of companies to interest and business tax resources such as tax rate.
motion is to approve the ordinance as stated. Any further discussion?
Looking at the check that Ms. Phelps has written, it's dated February 20th. The postmark envelope is marked February 10th.
Yeah, I think the check is actually for penalty. I think she went ahead and paid the penalty, so it wouldn't keep accruing interest. So I think once she takes this back, then they'll refund her the payment. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was for the actual. I was looking at that too, and it looks like that's what the penalty was.
You know, I'm having issues with this system. Why should we be rewarding someone who isn't efficient enough to pay their taxes on time?
Well, their argument is they did pay them on time, but the post office didn't pick up the mail.
They had how many months before that date to pay their bills?
Due on a date, you got the right to that date.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. That's just my personal opinion. If I ran my budget that way, I'd be in trouble all year long.
Give me my dad.
We have had a few people come in and submit, and we tell them everything they have to do. They said, I'll just make sure I pay a few days earlier next year. So yes, that has happened, but technically under law, they have until the 31st to pay it. We did learn that everybody's mail here goes to Dallas, so in case you didn't know that. If you take your mail over here to the post office box, bank stuff, then there it goes to Dallas.
They're the ones that are interviewing with this.
Well, if we keep letting them happen again, they will continue.
This is the first time people already know of.
No,
At
fourth one.
this point, this is the first time that I know of that my tax paying days is paid. Because it's the same. I just started. All right, we have a motion to approve resolution 2023-10-R. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Right.
Motion carries. Item 16, consider possible action approving a proposal from Walker Partners for survey, design, bidding, and construction administration services for the expansion of the parking lot at Pebble Park. Craig, you got this too?
Yes. Yes, so this is, it's taking a little time because we've had a few other things going on at the same time, but we do have a proposal from Walker Partners for the design of the parking lot. We'd estimated this at about 200,000 back when we did the budget last summer, but everything just keeps going up. So by the time we got to the point of doing a cost estimate and everything, and we actually, I think, looked at a couple different options to try to save a little bit of money. So the plan you have that before you takes care of the engineering, the bidding and everything, construction staking and everything related to the engineering side of this. And then you have the cost proposal that's in here with a contingency amount And then there is a schematic. And we debated whether we wanted to go to the expense to move the flagpole or not, and decided to try to work around the flagpole. So that did.
Flagpole by the big rock in the front.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing was we'd have to either move all that or just but it did allow us to create a little bit of bus parking. So when buses go in, they can park along the one side, but you'll come in one side and you'll go out the other side.
Great idea.
It does add, you remember how many parking spaces it adds?
Say 26 spaces.
Originally, right now it's got 9 parking spaces. And we have space, we'll be that in, this will be a total of 26 spaces, including,
And 2 bus parking spaces. Right now the buses park on the street.
When does this project get started?
You ready to go out for bid?
So we're talking about $250,000 to design concrete, right? Gosh almighty.
That was engineering costs
And we're
too.
required for that from the
Or
state.
no?
If it's a public improvement over $20,000,
Such
it's
a waste of
required
money.
to be engineered and bid. Yes.
I disagree.
What's that?
I disagree.
Are you an engineer?
No. Wait, what was the waste of funds? I thought you said
That's
the whole
the
thing.
funds for engineering
Oh.
the concrete to
Oh.
pour it.
Oh, okay, sorry. I agree.
Yes. Contact.
You just can't say
Contact
pour
your state.
concrete. You gotta have it.
Contact your state representative because that threshold of 20,000 has been there for 50 years, probably. I mean, I've been doing city management type stuff for 26 years, and it's been $20,000 the whole time, so it's not gone up. Same thing with bidding threshold at 50,000. They tried to push it up to 100 this year, but the legislature wouldn't approve it. So the cost of things are going up, but we still have these low thresholds. So yeah, until the legislature changes them, we have to work within them. I don't want to go to jail.
Wait,
No.
Wait, what are you talking about? Where's the engineering cost? What are you talking about?
This is to get it started.
This is just the engineering proposal. This is
They'll
$25,000.
put it out for bidding.
$27,230 plus. Well, that includes the projected staking cost to do the surveying and stake it out.
All of Walker's fees are already paid for the project.
Oh, okay.
Proposal
Sorry.
for,
Yeah.
that's already done, right?
No.
This is Walker's fee.
This is Walker's fee. This is just to propose for them to, they just did preliminary design on it and came up with an estimated cost.
Yeah, but we know how important that is. I mean, right?
We do. I wasn't anything. I was just thinking the threshold needs to be higher.
I was just thinking I needed to be an engineer.
I wholeheartedly agree, but that all
We
gets
think you
done.
guys are
That all
really
gets
worth
done
it,
90
is what
miles
we're meant
south
to
of here.
say. It's just-
We have a hard enough time doing the things we do here, so all that's 90 miles south. And they probably have 3 or 4 special sessions coming up if you want to try to stick something on there. Call the governor. Yes. Yeah, and then we'll put it out for bid, then we'll get the bids and bring them back. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all good.
Proposal from Walker Partners for survey design bidding, construction and installation for the expense of parking lot necessary.
That'll probably carry over to next year, doesn't it?
It won't be my business.
Probably not out here. I think we're getting that close.
The ball field and the ball field has.
If you look, we're getting kind of close, the turn's getting kind of close to the little amphitheater. And if people go through there at 40 making that turn, you can go back.
On that.
Okay, we have a motion to approve proposal from Walker Partners. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Mr. Hobbs, consider possible action approving a change order for Greenbrier Canal Storage Tank project.
Dun, 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 dun.
The council is aware that we're under the improvement project of the Greenbrier ground storage tank, and by doing that work, the sandblasting done with the state of the tank and some of the floors that have to be replaced. So this change order is to cover the cost of replacing the floors, one part of the original contract.
That's the photos down below that look like the surface of the moon.
Wasn't the approval for 50 to 100, something like that?
Yeah. So I think we had a couple of these initially that we put all this extra money in to redo the floor and we didn't need it done. So this time we thought, well, we haven't had to do it the last few, so we didn't put it in this one. So the moral of the story is, I guess, put it in every one, whether we need it or not. And if we don't, then we save the money. Okay. And that just involves welding new plate on the floor, right, Greg?
They're gonna put a layer of sand on the base of it just to kind of level it up, and the new plate will lay right on top of that grade, do welding and all the way around.
So it'll have a whole new solid floor, not just welding patches over the holes.
We had a little allowance for patching, but it was, so that helped cover some of the cost of the floor, and then nothing, we way too much to patch. It's best without it to replace it entirely. We get some longevity out of use of that thing.
Is that sand cushion strong enough to support the plate without any issues?
Yes, sir, yeah, we'll display on top of the existing, so we'll have what's underneath the existing floor plate, what's left of the existing floor plate.
Okay.
So we'll make sure that it's packed in there as well.
All right, you won't have any flex or buckling on that.
We will, but
Does that tank have a liner in it as well, or is that just steel sided and steel bottom? There's no way to put a liner in there to.
Well, it's coated. It's got a coating.
The rust.
yeah, it'll have the coating system.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
How old is that tank, Craig?
That's one of the oldest ones. It's built by a welder.
Where is it? Since last century.
Approving the change order for Greenbrier ground storage tank project.
Motion is to approve the change order. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item 18, consider possible action selecting the firm to provide audit services to the city of Robinson.
I didn't want to steal your thunder. So our current, our engagement with Belt Harris and Chachek actually ran out a year ago, but because so much stuff was going on, the council did a 1-year extension of it. So that is up. So we did go out for proposals from new audit firms for new contract. And engaged Valley View Consulting, who's our financial consultants. They're really good at this. So they did most of the heavy lifting. They did send out, developed a list of eligible firms. We did have some specifics. We wanted firms that had auditors that specifically do local government, because local government accounting is so different than regular accounting. We didn't want to just get anyone. We wanted somebody to do governmental accounting. So they had a list that they developed, and we sent those out. We ended up getting back 3 proposals. One was our current auditor, Bell Harris, and then Brockway, Gerbosh, Franklin, and Niemeyer, and then Patilla Brown and Hill. So they went through and evaluated all this, found that all the firms were qualified. We've had a really good work relationship with Bell Harris. They greatly helped us transition because the city had not changed auditors in over, I guess, 30 years. So,
This is the same auditor from last year,
well, Bell Harris was the auditor we had last year.
but in the year before.
Yeah, the previous 6 years.
Yeah,
So, but most cities like to take a look at, maybe having a different set of eyes.
for sure. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we did this process. So, there's no reason for us to say we don't want Bell Harris back. We like Bell Harris. We have a good relationship with them. But there is a significant price difference between them and Patilla Brown and Hill. And it doesn't hurt to always have a different set of eyes come in periodically and look at your books.
And Patilla Brown and Hill's a local company, right?
Yes, they are a local firm. We did meet with them. 2 of the partners would be involved with overseeing our audit, and we felt pretty comfortable with them. So it is a change. So we do have to change, and there will be some things a little different, but we will be able to handle that. So I'm looking at Karen there.
Yeah.
How long would the contract with that be?
It'll be 5 years,
Okay.
just like the other. Yeah. Typically, we do them 5-year contracts. If we had to change every year, you'd probably have to get all new people, including city manager. Because it is a little bit trying that first year to change to a new thing. Yeah, I mean it is good. Most of them now do everything online, so you can upload everything.
Well, I like the fact that they're local too. Just,
Yeah. So staff is recommending Patilla Brown and Hill, and if you have any questions, we'd be happy to try to answer those.
Just these in their bid comparisons that they have 90 days to revoke. Oh, irrevocable.
Yeah.
I have one question. You said your staff is recommending Patilla, but you're on the recommendation on the agenda, it says they're recommending Bell Harris, the chapter. Let's see what's this show.
Oh, yeah. That's because they used last time's memo to do it.
Okay.
they're forgiving.
So yeah, no, we're recommending, everything else in there says we're recommending.
Okay, just want to clarify that.
That was me typing the memo on Sunday evening.
I make a motion. To select Patilla Brown and Hill for all licenses to be on.
Motion is to approve Patilla Brown and Hill. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item 19, consider possible action appointing one of the alternates on the Planning and Zoning Commission, place 6, due to the vacancy created by the passing of commission member ordinance. We have 2 alternates. Wesley Gilbreth, I think I say his name correctly, Gilbreth, or Jana Reed, both serve as alternates. Craig, you fill in a little bit as to. Yeah, so both are alternates. One is place 1, which usually means they were appointed previously. I will say that Mr. Gilbreth has been at most of the P&Z meetings, and when we've been short and contacted him, he has tried to make a point to be here and step in and fill the void. So he's been more of a regular attendee than Miss Reed has. And she's been to 1 meeting. Yeah, I think just 1 meeting since
I'll make a motion to appoint Wesley Gilbreath in place 6.
I second.
Wesley Gilbert. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 20, mayor customer updates quickly. Items to be placed on future agendas. Mr. Rogers, I have your. Mr. Sadler? Mr. Baker? Mr. Massey?
None.
21 adjourned, 7:40.
Do that way back.